I'ma pull up. So if you're watching, thank you for watching. Happy New Year's Eve to you. We're going into a New Year's together, and I'm so excited that you're on my YouTube channel watching with me. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe. But you know what? Before we get started, I'm gonna have this drink for you. Happy New Year! Mwah! First of all, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a good, nice little fast update today. This update is for just starting the process of transitioning, even though it's a transgender female process. It might help a lot of people. It might not help anyone, but this is knowledgeable information that anyone can use. So I just want to say, to start the process off of transitioning, the first thing that anyone should do is really just have that talk with yourself. Look in the mirror, discuss these decisions, make sure that you're on the right track for yourself. This is not for no one else but you. So make sure that this decision and the path of life that you want to walk down, because once it's all said and done, it's definitely going to be official. And I just wanted to say that because a lot of people rush into a lot of decision making, and they don't really give themselves time to think about, the aftermath of the decision. So just make sure before you start your transition, make sure before you go see any doctors that you're happy within yourself, that this is the decision you want to make. And once you are good with that, then everything else should fall into place very, very smooth for you. Even though it's a very, tedious and kind of a long process, it should be very, very smooth. Especially with these tips that I'm going to give you. With my transition, I probably would have been a little bit further in my transition, but due to COVID-19, it did push me back with my surgery. It pushed me back with my letters of recommendation to my insurance company. And it was just like a little disappointing, but I'm here now and I'm happy. So let's get into the process of transitioning. Okay, so when you start your transition, one of the first things that you want to look into is a primary doctor. Once you get your primary doctor, you will start to have regularly scheduled visits. And once you get comfortable enough with your doctor, develop this really good relationship, and you feel comfortable enough to tell them about, yourself, then you do that when you're ready. It's not a rush. People think they get the primary doctor and then the first appointment you just gotta lay it all on them. Develop a relationship with your doctor so that they can understand you better when you explain things to them. But the first step normally would be to have a primary doctor. The primary doctor is kind of gonna be like your partner, your mentor, so to speak. They're gonna help you reach out in the community, whatever community you're from, to reach out to different doctors, different psychologists. If you don't have insurance, maybe they can help you with the insurance for your transgender care. That is going to be somebody that you're going to want to keep right up under your wing, because they're going to really help you network with other doctors and physicians and things that you need to, maintain your transition. When you tell your doctor about your transition, they're probably going to give you this weird look, but everyone gives you this weird look when you're telling them your life story. They don't want to believe it, or they're just like, okay, you're crazy. But you know what? You have to stay strong, you have to stay focused, and you have to make sure that you prove to these people, even though this is your life, you make sure you prove to these people that in fact, that this is what you want and that this is what you need in your life to help you live, happier. The questions are going to start with your primary doctor. Everyone, before they put their foot out there, before they, go to, fight for you on your behalf, or before they go to recommend you to a different doctor, they want to make sure that you're making the right decision. So a lot of this stuff is going to be like really redundant. It's going to be really tedious. It's going to be a lot of the same questions. And it's going to start with your primary doctor. You have to make sure that you're strong and you continue to push forward with your transition, and make yourself relax with the situation, and just know that you're gonna do this and you're gonna be safe. You're not alone. I'm here with you. Your doctor's here with you. You can always hit me up, ask me any questions, comments, try to find a way to contact me, like through Messenger or something. But with your primary doctor, that's going to be the first person to ask you 1,000,001 questions. How do you feel on the inside? How do you feel on the outside? What makes you uncomfortable? When did this all start? Things like that. And make sure, you have your answers together. Like, if this is something you want to do, you should already know all this information. So it should be very, very easy. When you go to your primary doctor, you might hear this thing called gender dysphoria, and it's natural, it's normal, it happens to a lot of transgender people. Gender dysphoria is basically when somebody was born in a body, or somebody was born with a different mentality or a opposite mindset of what they were naturally born with. Like, obviously, people who were born with the opposite feeling or a discomfortable feeling of their body or their emotions or the mentality, that is what gender dysphoria is. When you're born one way, but you come out to be completely the opposite of what you were born. And don't be nervous or scared when you hear gender dysphoria, because it is a normal thing. It's something that a lot of people don't even realize that it's a real thing. People think that, transgender people or, LGBTQ people, they just want to be this way or they feel this way. But it's an actual disorder. It's called gender dysphoria. So if you have the time to look into that, please look into that. It's a very important thing. And your primary doctor is going to be your friend when it comes to gender dysphoria, because once your primary doctor realizes that yes, and you do in fact have gender dysphoria, or you are in the wrong placement of yourself, then they're gonna help to prescribe you with hormones, okay? That's the next thing we're gonna talk about. Once your primary doctor prescribes you these hormones, you will start taking them, and just so everyone's aware, when you do take these hormones, they do make you feel a little bit different. They make you feel a little bit more angry, a little more, tired, or you might get a burst of energy, or you might, get like really, really hungry and you want to eat like some food. You want to eat like weird things, like you want pickles and hot things, and you crave certain things. But that is also all normal when you're taking hormones. One helpful tip I will give you guys though is when you're taking hormones, or when you start to take your hormones, if you want to maintain your figure and you want the slim body look, start getting yourself on a plan of eating healthy, a regular exercise, just to maintain your figure, because hormones are definitely going to change the way you feel. They are definitely changing your hormonal state in your body. So a lot of things that you didn't like before, you might start to like, or a lot of things that you do like, you might not even want or care for anymore. So be aware that when you're on hormones, you're gonna go through a lot of changes, physically, mentally, emotionally, appetite-wise. It's just gonna be like a whole new thing to get used to, and that is fine. Just make sure that you're prepared for this journey. Moving on from hormones, after receiving your hormones or in the process of getting your hormones, one thing that you should also do is look for a psychologist. Like I said in the beginning of the video, your primary doctor should be able to help you contact a psychologist, anyone in the community that's able to help you. And it's basically going to be the same process over again, from your primary doctor to your psychologist, only because your primary doctor is mainly for your primary health and your needs, your physical needs like that. And your psychologist is going to be someone who's going to be able to pick your brain more, get into your mind, ask you a lot of questions. Some things that you can look forward to when you go to talk to your psychologist would be taking like a personality assessment. They're going to evaluate the way you think. They're going to evaluate the way you feel. They're going to evaluate all the words that come out your mouth to them. They're sitting there with this paper. They're writing all these things down, and they're really going to look into, does this person for sure in fact have gender dysphoria, like the primary doctor who recommended you to this psychologist told them. And they're just going to do their jobs as normal, and they're going to make sure that the information you're giving them is correct. Your psychologist is going to be somebody that you're able to open up to. Your psychologist should be somebody that's also on your side. You should never feel uncomfortable with any of your doctor's appointments. If you do feel uncomfortable, that is the wrong thing to do. That is the wrong way to feel. Reach out to someone else or go back to your primary doctor and say, hey, the person you recommended me to makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Can you give me someone else? Or can you recommend me to somebody else? So the reason you need a psychologist is because the psychologist is going to be the one to work hand in hand with the insurance. And the insurance is my next topic for you guys. The insurance is really one of the, everyone that you speak to, your primary, your psychologist, your insurance company, everyone's really, really important, but your insurance company is like daddy. Like your insurance company has the last say so. Your insurance company is the one to finalize or confirm everything that's been going on for the past few years that you've been transitioning. So the psychologist and the insurance people work hand in hand, because when you go to see a psychologist for this amount of time that you've been seeing them, they're the ones to give you a recommendation letter. And everybody's transition is different. As far as my transition, I had to have 2 different psychologists because that is what my insurance required. Now, let's get into insurance. Okay, so your insurance is important because once your primary doctor prescribes you the hormones, and once you're in tune with your psychologist and you're going on to your regular visits, they're going to be the people that you need to contact. So whether you have Fidelis Care or whether you have Independent Health or whatever insurance you have, one of my important tips to you would be to contact your insurance provider. The reason you need to contact your insurance provider is because they're the ones, like I said earlier, they're daddy, because they are the ones who set the rules. They're the ones to tell you how long you need to take your hormones for, whether you need to take them for a year or 3 years. They're going to be the ones to approve or deny you for gender confirmation surgery. They're also going to be the ones that you need to send your letters of recommendations or your letters for approval for surgery from your psychologist, and they are the ones who basically oversee the whole program of you transitioning with your physician, your psychologist, all those things. They're going to be paying very direct, close attention to. You can't have any surgery done unless you're going out of pocket to go pay for your surgeries. You can't have any surgeries done unless your insurance company approves it. Whew, excuse me. That was so nasty. I think it was the wine. So your insurance company is the one to say, hey, you're good for surgery. You're good, with your letters. Go ahead. You've met the requirements of taking the hormones. It's your time to shine. So, just starting your, a quick little summary, starting your transition process, just make sure that you get a good primary doctor. Make sure you get, some good psychologists that you're comfortable with. You might need one, you might not, you might need more than one. Just look around, meet these people, get in touch with them and see if they can help you with your transgender care. And also make sure you pick a good insurance company that's going to work with you and help you reach your goals of transitioning, because that's what it's all about. And let's just focus on positivity for the new year, 2021. Let's all be positive, successful, make money together, support each other. And like I said, if you're on this journey with me, it's only up from here, baby. It's only up from here. Like we got this together. I want to say Happy New Year's and thank you to everybody who's watching. Make sure you go subscribe. So if you're concerned about a name change, changing your ID, your driver's license, your birth certificate, or, you know, changing your social security's number, that is going to be another video, another topic. But one helpful tip I will give you guys is to please wait until after your transition and please wait until after your surgeries to get your name changed and then follow up with